I'm not sure that all of these are carbon credit stocks, but they either are, or they almost are, or they're pretty dang close. Or probably wouldn't hurt. There might be others that need to be added to the list. There might be some that needs to be taken from the list or removed from the list, but this is what I got so far. So it's kind of like a loophole that I figured out, and that is, all these successful guru people that are pushing for this carbon imprint agenda, they use a lot of carbon. Some of them do, some of them more than others. And people complain about, these people, they talk about carbon and blah blah blah, but yet they fly around in these Learjets and stuff like that and use these SUVs and drive around with security, and they're driving all these SUV security vehicles and blah blah blah, and they're using all this carbon, and yet they complain about us using too much carbon, and they use 5 times or 10 times or 20 times or 50 times more than we do individually, right? Well, the whole thing's a joke, right? But anyways, the whole New World Order thing, and I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say without getting censored, but the whole New World Order thing is pushing for this whole carbon deal. So what I've learned is, if you have carbon credits, you're allowed to use more carbon. It's all about the money, really. It's all about the money. They don't really care about carbon. And volcanoes put out more pollution than we do, so we're not going to kill the planet. The planet will kill us before we will ever kill the planet. So anyways, if you're worried about getting in trouble for carbon, even though you use less than probably they do, invest in carbon credit stocks, especially ones that will give you a yield, a dividend. That way you get a return on your investment. So you're not just throwing your money, or you don't feel like you're just throwing your money to the wind investing in these stocks. You're actually getting a kickback. So some of these have dividends, some don't. And also, you want to run multiple apps, because some of these you can't invest in on Cash App or even Robinhood. So you have to use a different system. So, like these BlackRock ones, BlackRock is, of the New World Order. So, but this stock is not supported on Robinhood. So you have to go to either Schwab or Webull in order to invest in those stocks. Or maybe another stock program like TTE is another one that you can do with Cash App, but you cannot do with Robinhood. So you have to use either Cash App or Webull or someone else in order to invest in TTE. I can't remember if it's a dividend stock, but I think it is. I think it gives like a 4 or 5% yield at this point. But don't quote me on that. But anyways, these are the stocks that I believe are carbon credit stocks. And the more carbon credits you have, the more you can get away with having a carbon imprint. So as long as your carbon credits exceed what your carbon imprint is, then you're safe. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. That's basically what I found out that some of the rich people are doing, and that's how they're getting away with their carbon imprint. But they're not telling us that. So it doesn't hurt to do it yourself, especially if it gives a yield. You know, it pays out a dividend. Then you're getting a return on your investment, so it's a win-win. But my biggest problem with the whole thing is that we're being forced to invest in evil corporations. But like I said, just invest enough to make you carbon safe and invest in the ones that give a yield. And then that way you're making money on it. And then you can turn around and invest more into the more patriotic type stocks, if you will, or neutral stocks. But yeah, I just thought I'd give that little tidbit. I talked about it in my last video that I have not uploaded yet, but I'm working on it. It's on my other phone, but I've already used too much disk space on that phone, so I'm having a hard time processing and saving the video. It's like an 1.5 hour long video. But once I get it processed and saved, I may have to go in and start over. But once I get it done, I'll upload it. And it's not strictly a stock video. It's a stock, relationship, MGTOW, red pill video. So it's a multi-faceted video, but it's basically talking about the decline of the birth rate in the world. And so my 2 cents on that is, we have to have our own safety net, our own security blanket, and investing in our dividend stocks is basically what I was trying to, my point in the whole 1.5 hours of it for the stock side anyways. There's a whole bunch of stuff there. But on the stock portion of that video, my point was, investing in dividend stocks so that we have our own retirement plan going on, and we don't have to worry about relying on the next generation to take care of us, because the next generation is getting smaller, and the next generation after that is getting smaller, and we don't know when the population is going to grow, because the New World Order wants it down to like 500 million, and we're at like 7 billion right now. So they're going to cut the population, or they're going to try to cut the population drastically. And if they drop it down to 500 million, whoever's left, however many of us is left, we're not gonna be possibly maybe be able to rely on the next generation to take care of us. So we gotta figure it out for ourselves, and make sure you have a will, and you will it to your grandchildren, so that, or your children, or both, so that they have a safety net to take care of them, because that's what all the rich people do. They start these trusts, they have all their money in these trusts, and the trust takes care of the family, and they just keep passing it down, and they just keep getting richer and richer, while we keep getting poorer and poorer. So there you go. All right, bye.